Hello and welcome in, guys. Conquest Coast. We are back with another battle report slash recap, and we had our first match ever. Sorry, playing versus the Yoroni. So great to see this army in action, and I'm still on the same list. I'm still trying to figure out how to play the Rakshasa. Was talking about it in the last few matches, and yeah, let's see how we play him or use them here. The setup is pretty classy, and the scenario is, I think, Breakout, if I'm correct. I'll have to double check that, but you will see it on the description and on the thumbnail of the video. So yeah, very classy setup. I was placing the Ghols inside the forest, so because he has some 14-inch archers, I want to keep them safe inside the forest and send them scoring if I need them there. And the Rajakur I placed in the center, so they can hold the center objective, can kill the marker, because we need a character close if we want to fiery dominion it. But I think on this one, since your opponent cannot take it away, you can also leave it. And with Sorcerer Kings, since we sometimes want to deny your opponent attacks and stuff like that, we can use the objective markers a little bit to our advantage. Depends on how your opponent sets up his own units. Alright, from the miniatures on the Yoroni side, the spear guys are the tanky, and the sword fighters are, the more damage dealer dudes. And the birds are obvious. He has 2 units of small bird archers. He has some units of the defense 4 guys and some units of the defense 3 guys with more swings, and cleave 2, I think, pretty brutal. He sends in that fox lady with a unit of, I think it's the defense 4 guys there, right? To pressure me on that side for the objective zone, and that was actually the objective zone I want to fight for as well. So I was planning to use my Ghols as a bait, because his units over there are very expensive. He has to do very careful trading over there. You don't want to send them in, pick up the Ghols, and then just get wiped out. That would absolutely not be worth it. So we have the sorcerers in between the Ghols now and the Rajakur. So we move them up, they can start shooting at stuff if he's moving in. With range 18 we pressure a lot. We're also in range to get the rerolls from our Maharaja, so we have full rerolls. With the sorcerer we just, let's say, just have the rerolls on 6s, and we're in range of the Ghols to make them seizing, give them the AOD, and give us a little bit scoring early. That was also something I really wanted to go over. I have to really check for the upcoming tournament, like the scenarios we play, and I really want to figure out how I have to arrange the scoring and when is like the latest point at where I need to start getting the scoring going to prevent them, because this one also I wasn't 100% sure how long I can leave my opponent score the zones and stuff. So because we pick a few points up early, and we can maybe deny the center a little bit. As you can see, I was sending forward my Rajakur a little bit. Maybe they're already a little bit too far ahead. Maybe we should have waited with them another turn, because as it is right now, he could technically set up a lot of units that were able to charge in. And I'm actually not 100% sure how long they can hold it out. It depends a little bit on how well I can counter heal. I still think I don't play that Rajakur optimally every time. I had a few games where I was really where they were really nice set up with the healing, and how my opponent plink the damage in, but not in this one particularly. So as you can see, he moves the unit forward because he has to pick up that objective mark in a more traditional way, and he wants to probably get it out of the way. I mean, he has trample, swings, and impact, so he can do it quite fast with that army. What I also wasn't like thinking about from the beginning is his whole army is range 2. So I can just stay in front of my archers with the Rajakur the whole game. Basically, it doesn't matter, right? Because of his size too. We just have to be a little bit careful about the Flamecaster, but that's a lot easier to do. Alright, so we bring in our Mahut. We bring it in here on the right side because as it is right now, most of it's like super dangerous stuff with the characters over there. And we just have Ghols, and if I want to use the Ghols as a bait, I need something that can answer if my opponent takes the bait, right? Because otherwise it's not really a bait, it's just a sacrifice. So we place the Maharaja there, and we have Rajakur behind the archers. They can move up if they need to. And you will see a little bit soon how we solved it fighting over there. He brought in 2 of the archers on the left side so he can hold that objective stone, and I was not really worried to contest it at all. Because if he wants to get it, he can get it. I have not really a unit that I can reliably send in over there and gets the job done, otherwise I'm spending too much resources. There was a moment where I was thinking maybe we can place the Rakshasa there, send him in, and totally hold that side. But I don't want to sit with my Rakshasa on that objective for the rest of the game. And so I decided, as you can see, I was considering it if I should send him in. But the problem is I was a lot more worried about the right side here, and there's a lot of characters over there, so we can do the charge dual clash action if we are able to, which is very strong, obviously. Now he was considering to send in that unit at first, but since it's hard to outscore me there with the +2, it's kinda rough, and he doesn't really want to charge me here because, yeah, very scary next turn. Well, I think he could move charge, do a few impacts, but the Ghols could actually swing back and they could do decent damage with Inspire, Clash, and having the rerolls on 6s. And if we go first next turn, I mean, he could, if he goes first, he can kill the Ghols, but then he's totally open to the Mahut and the Rakshasa, so yeah, it's not really a charge he wants to go now, so I think we supported or reinforced that flank there enough to make it scary for him. And of course, each turn the Ghosts can hold me that objective zone. I can keep the lead a little bit less high for my opponent, which is actually nice. So now he was considering to bring in, to charge maybe my Rakshasa, but the gap is a little bit too small and it was too tough to move and get the charge with the pivot to get in contact with me. I think I could have played it a little bit cleaner and safer here because I'm not 100% sure if there really was no way and path through to get at my Rakshasa, because I don't want to get him bind up there. Now, going into our next turn. as you can see there, or as you will see there, I was going for, first I was thinking I can go first with the Ghols to bind up that archer unit he was presenting me over there. But then I realized if he went first in the center and just charged my archers, that's actually pretty bad. And this is kind of a mistake I keep doing with the staging there. Because, again, it could just be the opposite way around. And I would be fine with his army being size 2 anyways, which I didn't know at that point, or didn't realize at that point. But still, he has an opportunity to charge me and completely lock me up for a second there, which is very annoying. I had my Mahut in a position where I could kinda answer that, but that would pull my Mahut over, which is not really necessary. And if I place my Rajakur in front of the archers, it's a very scary charge for him, because he can charge me. If he doesn't kill the Rajakur, and they probably can hold it out, yeah, he's in a scary spot. But we were able to move first. We moved up our Rajakur, and now we use that objective zone, so we moved close enough that he's not able to place his units in front of me, because he would be placed on that objective marker from the way he can swing around, etc. So we were able to use it to our advantage, and if he moves over and charges us, he's still inside the water with some of his bases, which would reduce his clash. I don't really care about my own clash, because I'm not really doing damage with those guys anyways. So, and we kept him in range for our archers, so if he charges us, he's in effective range, and we can start raining down shells. Especially with the full rerolls, we can give either the archers or the Flamecasters behind my big Rajakur block. And I think I had one Maharaja going early here, so I can give the Flamecasters the rerolls, so I make him think twice about charging me here. Oh yeah, so I still got my Ghols, and I sent him into that archer unit, and it was just perfect. We left him on 1 HP, so the first thought was like, do I even want to attack here? Because if I completely wipe them, it's actually not a great spot. I think we had rituals running here. Yes, I think we had rituals running here, so I was prepared. So if we kill him, we can still send the Rakshasa and the Mahut in. But they would be kinda exposed at that point. And I wanted to actually delay the whole thing another turn, if I'm able to. I mean, the Mahut can move up onto the objective zone and start ticking up my arcane conduit triggers, and we can start doing some spell casts. Oh yeah, so we didn't have the ritual turn here. So yeah, that was actually working out perfectly, but maybe hindsight, we should not attack at all with the Ghols. Even if it's a weird thing, we probably just move charge there and try to lock him up. Because the Ghols, they always play like a weird role anyway. But hey, it worked out. It worked out. So he moved sideways and charged us to get some impacts and I think tramples going, which is totally fine. Depends on how many guys he kills. We can still, with the extra seizing we can give us, etc., we can still hold that zone this turn if we really want to. Because from just the impacts, yeah, we lose one base, I think. Yes, we lost one base. Oh, we lost the second one, so we lost two bases there. So they're broken now, so if I want to contest it, we have to send in some stuff. Now, as you can see, I was reconsidering again with my Flamecasters if I should place them so I can at least make some pressure there. And we place them there so we can answer here a little bit better, because I think one Flamecaster unit was not enough here to really answer the stuff that he has in the center. And it makes him at least think about how he's gonna move his archers on the right and on the left side. Because if we have no contest at all, he can just move them to the flank of the Rajakur very close and start shooting. But if he does that now, we can send in some Flamecasters and shoot at him, and that hurts quite a lot probably. Alright, so now as you can see, he starts swinging at my Rajakur. He took out quite some bases. And I think again we did our Rajakur and Maharaja there too early. Yeah, absolutely, we did it a lot too early, because we can see him do that attack over there. It's a thing he can do. So we should probably keep the... keep it a little bit longer, but I wanted to keep the other one a little bit longer, because I still wanted to answer that right side. But I think at some point we just have to realize we can't answer everything, right? There's some stuff you have to give to your opponent, and it's really about, yeah, priority and importance of like board state and scoring and a lot of factors that come in there. So I think that was some Flamecasters shooting in that unit. And I mean, that's the only thing. He's very close there with 2 units, so the minus defense spell from our Sorcerer can really start to work there, because we can give him minus defense, cascade into our archers, and just send in 21 shots with reroll 6s or full rerolls, depends a little bit, on effective range. Yeah, with minus defense, pretty good. Now, as you can see there, I was considering what we should do with our Mahut. Oh no, we did some spell casting because, oh, yeah, we had first the Dancing Scimitar again. We didn't forget it again. In this match we used it and it was good again. Yeah, Dancing Scimitar feels like a must-have. It's so good. We ticked our rituals. So we had some rituals going because I knew I needed some rituals the next turn. So we got, I think, 2 conflagrations. Not the inside rage we should have gotten. And now we put in that guy so we can contest it. And for another Arcane Conduit trigger. And he's kinda safe behind the Ghols. Because I was like, yeah, you don't want to activate your big blob with the character to swing at the Ghols, because then yes, you can charge my Rakshasa, but then the Rakshasa can just dual swing at you. Dual Inspire Clash. And the Mahut can probably even charge your flank. I think I could have maybe, or should have maybe swung the Rakshasa around a little bit more, so it's even safer we get the flank charge with the Mahut if he's coming in. Yes. I mean, we don't probably need the flank charge. I mean, it just makes it better with the rerolls on the resolves, with the terrifying. But yeah, we have at least stuff there to answer. And our small Dreamman Rajakur block is still yeah, at the center. Can contest the center if we really need to at some point, or can charge the objective marker, could charge the opponent. There is some stuff they could do. So a nice piece to still have around. Hindsight, maybe we didn't need to hurry that much with the Rakshasa because of the reasons I mentioned before. So maybe No, the thing is our Rajakur were broken, so we could technically rally them, he can swing, and then we could conflagrate into something and at least try to heal them, counter heal them a little bit or something like that. I'm not 100% sure, it's hard to say. But could be an option, I just think the Rakshasa didn't have that high of a priority there. So he was considering there if he should accept a duel with my Rakshasa, and in the end he was like, whatever, throw it in, and accepted the duel. So our Rakshasa got the first duel in his life. Lovely. And yes, he just whooped or swept that unit away, because it's 15 attacks with the rerolls on 6s, and then another 15 swings with rerolls on 6s with the terrifying cleave 1. We got some brutals, and even if he some brutals, some impacts, and when he activates later he gets AOD, and if he kills us he gets the last word. It's so many rules on that thing. It's a crazy unit, and it's the first time he did something. I mean, he accepted the duel, which is probably not something he should do, or let's say it's not the best thing probably. If he doesn't, I don't think we can kill the unit instantly, but we probably kill it with everything that's coming in afterwards. So if he accepts the duel, it's quite some damage he can get extra if he's not getting killed. Yeah, I think he should still not. You should probably never accept that duel. I mean, it gives me full rerolls, but I have almost full rerolls anyways with the C4 and rerolls on 6s, so it's just the 5s that are nasty. Yeah. But hey, we got a duel there, we killed that unit, and that puts me in a very nice spot. I mean, I know he could countercharge me at some point. It's really not easy right now with that unit behind. He needs to get those birds killed first, or needs to finish off my goals to do it. So he decided, yeah, if you take my unit over there, I take the unit in the center, and I mean, that's a nice thing on the Yoroni, the flexibility. They can kinda activate everything they want whenever they want, but it's sometimes a trade-off if you really need the benefits you get from a card if you use it on a specific unit. But I think that's the interesting thing. It's sometimes you maybe, you have to really know, is it worth the flexibility right now? Do I need the bonus? So I think there's a lot of knowing how much damage you expect and how small of a margin you have to calculate in right now. So if you're maybe behind, you have to be a little bit closer, or maybe take sometimes a little bit of a risk. And if you're on a lead, you can maybe make a little bit of a safer decision and give them the buff. Or yeah, so you know, that's very important. And I think no matter which army you play, if you want to play it well, there is some math behind it that you need to understand anyways. Otherwise it's hard to understand certain situations, or it helps to figure out certain situations, because if you need them to figure them out just by playing a lot, that makes it hard, because then you need a lot of reps. And I think that's also a good thing. I can recommend anyways, if you do matches on TTS, maybe record them, and even if you win or lose, because you know, winning doesn't mean you played well, and losing doesn't mean you played bad all the time. It's good to, so you can get over your match and see maybe where you really messed up. And maybe because sometimes for some people after a match it's hard to check them right away. So I also I could check them right away, I don't care too much, but taking like a day or two after a match helps me to rethink the match and maybe see what I did wrong, so I have a little bit better of an understanding when I go into the battle rep here. So yeah, let's go back to the match. That was just some side notes hitting in. You can see here there he charged my Flamecasters on the left, and I was in a position where I think I didn't play it optimally. I gave him a little bit too much priority in the center, and stayed on that right side too heavily. But I was so scared because I knew I had to clear from the things I committed right now. I have to clean out that right side, because if I lose the right side, it's too many points we give up there. And I was thinking from the right side, I get a lot of arcane conduits if I get the Rakshasa in and maybe the elephant and a sorcerer. There was a lot of arcane conduit triggers technically we can get, but I mean the sorcerer is always just a bonus, because it's a little bit too risky sometimes to just send him in. And he charged our archers. I mean, he charged us there with some leftovers. That was the thing. I saw it was some leftovers. So going back to the thing I said before, the damage I was expecting over there was handleable, and I knew I had some pieces. So if he charges one Flamecaster unit, he cannot charge the other one, right? So we have one Flamecaster unit either way that can answer. I think he charged the right unit there, because it's a lot harder to answer this unit, because the center one needs to move. So if we don't have it after a ritual, it's a little bit harder. But for me, it's also important now to get something on that center zone. And keep in mind, we still have the Rajakur block there left. They sadly didn't do what they should do, but maybe, yeah, we should check that when they do it, what would be the best play to do. So we kept playing on the right side. He was swinging hard at our Rakshasa. We were able to heal him up with the Eye of Blazing Tempest. I think it also was the first time we were able to heal him up a little bit. And it's not something we should underrate, because, yeah, there's quite some healing we could technically get out on that Rakshasa if we really need it. And with all the AoD, it goes back to the thing we know about the SKs. It's you need to add up the dices, because we don't have really cleave, or I mean, we have some cleave, but not a lot of cleave or armor piercing. So we need to collect dice and just quantity. So at some point they're gonna fail, and of course the 16% extra damage we can get from a minus defense on our sorcerer is huge. So now we send in our Mahut. So on this side we know our Mahut and the Rakshasa have to do the work here. I think going back, my Rakshasa was a little bit... I could have placed him probably a little bit different. So I should have placed him so my Mahut is still able to charge and stay inside of the objective zone. But as it is right now, our Mahut is not able to stay inside the object. So no arcane conduits. And that's points we're dropping, ritual points. And my ritual bank, I mean, I had my rituals where I needed them for this match, but it wasn't the best ritual bank. And yeah, we lost our Shu'laat at some point, again a little bit early, because I was a little bit greedy. I expected a little bit too much from the Rajakur. Or again, if I played him this greedy, I need to have my heals ready at some points, right? I cannot let him swing in a whole turn. There was just not a good play there. But hey, it is what it is. And from the scoring you can see we are still in a okayish position. We managed to keep it kinda close, which is good, because we have to turn the tables at some point. I knew there was still the objective marker, which is 3 point, and we can get that at some point. I had a Fiery Dawn minion starting to tick up. Now going in my next turn, I mean, he had priority, so I was not really... Maybe I could have just placed my Rakshasa here first anyways. But I was like, yeah, if you activate those one-man units, you have to take AoD. We still have some HP left, so it's a little bit scary. And I don't want to clean up the path with the... Yeah, I think that was my thought process there. I don't want to clean up the path there, so he can just charge me with that other unit, because right now he's still kinda blocked from his own unit. So that's what he tried to do. He tried to activate them and kill them with the AoD, but his saves were too good. So he survived it, so he would clean up the path so he can charge my Rakshasa. It's still a scary thing for him to do, because then if I had like a ritual running and had my Rakshasa at that point, he could charge dual clash the next unit, and I think that would be just the end right there, because the Rakshasa at that point, even if he does not wipe out that unit, he just did waste too much, and they're probably not enough miniatures left there to do anything about that Mahut, because the Mahut, as you can see, it's still on 20 HP. The Rakshasa at that point collected 9 damage. Now, oh yes, now we can see the Rajakur in the center. They charged in, because I knew I didn't have like crazy damage left to do to wipe out that unit, but as usual, guys, the Rajakur, they're not really doing any damage. And I mean, that's not what I expect from them. They have like no rerolls, have just hit 50% hit rate. Yeah, not like a crazy amount of attacks. And if I attack in the way I attack there, with the objective thrown on the side, I lose a whole stand of attacks and get an extra miserable support attack there. So probably not worth. I mean, oh, maybe I don't know. Was there maybe a way? Yeah, there is probably a way from how the object marker is set up that you can place it that 2 bases are touching the zone, but if he charges you, he can just put 1 guy in contact with you, right? From what I see, yeah, that should be possible. So he has just 1 guy in contact then? Or is that... Oh, you have to place... You have to place it... No, that should work, because it is to the front. It should give him the flank charge there. That's what I should have done. So if he charges us, he just gets 1 base in contact, so we probably take the attack fine, hope we don't lose 2 bases, and then we contest the zone. I think that would have been the best play there. I mean, he was hitting us back and he did very well. Yeah, that's probably the best play we could have done there, because from how his character is set up and stuff, he probably doesn't have the character in contact with us. Yeah, yep. Now, on this side, he killed our Rakshasa. As expected, we send in the Mahut and start swinging and casting and everything, and I was pretty confident my Mahut rider can take out that unit. I mean, not take it out right now, but do, as you can see, solid damage. Reduce his damage output to the point where with the healing I get and everything, I feel pretty safe there. And if I can get enough damage, I'm even outscoring him. My Sorcerer got... Did my Sorcerer get killed here? Yeah, we lost our archers to that single dude. It was very unlucky. We had to do like 1 damage, but didn't manage to do it. But we had our Flamecasters ready to pick him up. You can see he reformed himself and start swinging at us, and yeah, that wasn't pretty healthy for my Rajakur. They took that quite serious. But yeah, I think we figured out how I should have played that. There was a cheesy play I could have made there. Didn't see it in the game, but we know it now. It's some stuff you have to know playing around those objective zones, objective markers, and I think there's pretty cool stuff you can do with 3-man units. And there is also something I was thinking about my Rajakur block that I can do against some MSU armies with just 3-man blocks that you see on Norse a lot, and I have to check that out. Back to the game. So we need to delete the stuff or pick up the rest of the units over here. So we moved them forward. First I was thinking we can move and shoot, but the damage output is really bad if we move and shoot. So I think in the end... Oh, that was the end. Yeah, we didn't even shoot. I think I just double moved them up so we get in range and start contesting the objective zones, because we need to get the scoring running. And I'm running low on pieces here. Losing that archer block was 2 cards that I wish I it's something we could have prevented, actually, I think, if we played that a little bit better in the center. I was a little bit, yeah, I did some mistakes there in the center when I gave him too much priority, like 2 turns ago. So yeah, now we move in our Flamecasters and start shooting and probably killed them. I don't remember. That should kill him. Oh yeah, he charged us over there, which is annoying, very annoying. Um, so we knew we had to do 1 damage on that guy to kill him, and he took up a base here. He picked up a base, which is nice. So we were considering, should we reform or just Inspire Clash. I think in the end I went for Inspire Clash, so we keep ourselves in okay position to pick up that objective zone, and it should be doable. Oh, the unit actually survived. So we knew we had to pick him up with Dancing Scimitar and Spellcasting. So yeah, Dancing Scimitar, very good, very good. Again, doing some, it's good also for finishing stuff. I saw that comment somewhere where it's really precious finishing a lot. And I was thinking, does it come in handy that often, really? And yes, it does. Yes, it does. There's so much stuff that sticks around on 1 or 2 HP, and against some units, AP2 is very reliable, right? Sometimes it's true damage, sometimes it's saving on ones, and if it's probably a game break in play where you're like, all right, I need those 3 damages. You can maybe, the safest way, maybe you could do it if their armor 3 is go with minus defense and then just do the safe 3 damage. Because sometimes having a safe path to do something, especially if you have a small lead, in a position where you have a small lead and you can pull it off by not sacrificing too much and make something safe where you know you can capitalize after, yeah, probably something to always consider. Now, I got priority here, luckily, so we moved our Flamecasters in a way where if he wants to shoot at them, he has to move up the birds, so they do not score. And if he moves them up too much, we have Flamecasters in that flank that can move in. So that was basically a checkmate position here, because we hold the zones, we can pick up that objective marker. Yeah, so at this point we just went through the calculations with the points, and as you can see there, it was 34 to 35, but we were just calculating it through, and I win by like 2 points in the end with the objective marker that I can pick up, and with just the Mahut. Hindsight, yes, I know now I could actually pick that up a little bit earlier, because we can do 2 damage on it with the Dancing Scimitar, since it counts as a heavy. So that's pretty nice. So yeah, that was the game. Our first game was Yoroni. We learned again some stuff, and it was a great game. It was nice to see that army. Now we are almost through. No, we actually need still like city-states, and I think we still don't have an Old Dominion match here on the channel, so we need that as well. And yeah, I hope you learned something as well, guys, as usual. And I see you next time. Conquest Coast out.